guys, it's Sam and this is Top 5 Wednesday. If you are new to Top 5 Wednesday, I will leave a link to the Goodreads group down below for topics and such. This week's topic is our favorite road trip books, and this could be road trips in the conventional sense or the unconventional sense. It's summertime in the United States and this is a road trip time for a lot of people, so I thought it was fitting. Let's get into it. Number 5 is a book I recently reviewed, and that is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This is a YA historical fiction. It follows a little small cast of characters as they go on their tour, which is kind of like the equivalent of our kind of gap year, and they're touring around Europe and they get into some shenanigans. So this is in like the 1700s, I believe, and there's a lot going on. They're in France, they're in Spain, they're in England, they're in all these different places, and a lot of different things happen, and it's very atmospheric and fun, and there's parties and there's just scandal and shenanigans, as road trips should be. Number 4 is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Now this isn't like a country-wide road trip necessarily, but there's a lot of travel and there's a lot of road trip elements, a lot of time spent in the car, a lot of driving around, and a lot of this is taking place within the Midwest of the United States. And I grew up in the Midwest, so it holds a special place in my heart. I was also listening to this while driving back to the Midwest for Christmas last year, and this is all about like gods, obviously, American gods, stuff like that. And what's so fun about this is they do end up stopping at some like roadside attractions and stuff, very popular ones, and in here roadside attractions are places of power, which is just like the best, the most fun, and I just really highly enjoyed that. And just the kind of stories that you get when you're traveling through like small towns, roadside attractions, you're in the car for long periods of time. It just has that feel to it. Number 3 is the Girl of Fire and Thorn series by Ray Carson. More specifically, I think Crown of Embers, although they all kind of have this sort of element to them. This is more of like that desert road trip book. So this is a YA fantasy trilogy, and they're going across this like desert area and they're traveling around a lot, kind of like a caravan type situation. And something just really gets me about the desert road trip. I don't know what it is. I feel like when I first joined BookTube, there's a lot of books that were doing this kind of desert road trip thing. And now it's sort of a trope or theme that I really enjoy. Number 2 is pretty iconic as far as road trip books go, and that is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. This is a YA contemporary, and it follows these two characters that are on this kind of road trip across the United States. Amy needs to drive her family car across the country. There's a lot of things that have to do with that, and she doesn't want to go by herself. She kind of can't go by herself, so her neighbor Roger ends up going with her, and things ensue. But again, you have these kind of like, you know, stopping along the way, all that kind of stuff, and it's just a very classic road trip book. There's also little tidbits in here because Morgan Matson always does fun stuff with her storytelling. There's like receipts and like little, almost like journal entries and different little artsy things that are also included in here, which makes this really fun and kind of gives you that almost road trip scrapbook feel. And number 1 is Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna Maguire. This is one of the books in the Wayward Children series, and this is about kids that go into different portal fantasy worlds. And what's so great about this one, and this one is more of a kind of untraditional type road trip book, because they're traveling between these different worlds. They're on a quest, and they're traveling between a lot of these worlds that we have heard of, not necessarily seen, and it's so fun. They're traveling between portal fantasies. It's great, and I highly enjoyed it. I love the worlds within this series, and getting to see multiple of them was a joy and a treasure for me. So that is it for some of my favorite road trip books. Comment down below, let me know some of your favorite books that feature a road trip type element. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!